We all know who Kanye West is, but let's get briefly into it so everybody is on the same page. Shortly, he's one of the most influential artists and producers in the modern music history. He became famous in the early 2000s, and he has continuously pushed the boundaries of hip-hop music year by year and tape by tape that he's been dropping. His impact extends far beyond just music. Kanye has revolutionized production, fashion, and even the way artists perform and interact with the public. We all know he's a very controversial figure, but his unique approach to production is what really made him a household name, blending soul samples with different kind of synths. He often used also pitch-shifted vocal samples, crazy drum patterns, and a lot of synthesizers and a lot of layers of them to create that rich, textured soundscape. His ability to mix the old with the new is what really sounds timeless and always has been ahead of the curve. So we're going to break down his unique production style and break down two beats I made inspired by his last album, Vultures 2. If you haven't listened into it, I highly can recommend it. I know there's a lot of hate going around about this album, but I still think there are some great songs into it, and especially if you're a producer, you can use that to gain a lot of inspiration, break down the beats, and learn something new. The tracks I got inspired by are Field Trip, that's also the first one we'll be breaking down today, and Fried, that's number 4 on the tape and remembers me a lot of Carnival on Vultures 1, which also went number 1 on multiple Billboard charts across the world. If you want the exact recreated Field Trip beat, I can recommend you checking out the channel of I'm a Music Mogul that has recently uploaded a detailed breakdown of the beat and that I use as a source to find the right sounds for this beat. And if you like this kind of videos, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to support what I'm doing here. Either way, let's jump straight into it and get started. So, welcome to the first beat. So what I started the first beat was this basic synth that's going through the complete song, and this is the pattern of the synth. This is the other variation I made for this synth. I just put up the attack a little bit, and this is how it sounds. So that was the main synth. The only two effects I put on this synth is the equalizer that I pushed the highs a little bit and got rid of some of the low end and added a delay with these settings. For the second sound of this beat I used the additive church organ inside of Alchemy, and this is the pattern I laid down. This pattern also doesn't change, it goes throughout the beat, just like this. These are the effects that we put on this on the channel rack to make it sound like this. We got rid of the lows, got rid of some highs, added the chorus with the basic default settings, and used the Cave preset inside of Chroma Verb that's inside of Logic. So let's listen to it back again. As the next sound, I just used the songwriter piano inside of Logic without any processing from my side, and just to add a little bit of highs, and this is the pattern. The next sound is a dulcimer wash sound inside of Alchemy as well, and this one is basically playing the same chords as the church organ, but this gives like more warm and a little bit more depth to it because it's a much warmer sound. So let's listen to it. So I also didn't edit here anything, just like the bass sound coming straight off Alchemy. For the next sound I used the vintage saw pad that's inside of Alchemy as well. So this is the processing. So what we use to this is a EQ, get rid of the low and a little bit of high end. The second one was a chorus with the default settings again, and the same thing here with the cave, chroma verb preset. It's basically just like a reverb. And this is how it sounds. For the next sound I used the brassy ensemble, again inside of Alchemy. So this plays also the same pattern as the church organ, so let's listen to it. The next sound inside of this beat is air core sweep, that's also inside of Alchemy, and I played this pattern with extended chords so they don't cut off. The next sound inside of this beat is air core sweep, that's also inside of Alchemy, and I played this pattern with extended chords so they don't cut off. So what I did here is I bounced the additive church organ into audio file and just reversed it, so it's reversed. And this is how it sounds like. The next sound inside of this project is just like a harp to give like more of a high end. That's why it's like quite high notes. That's why it's playing quite high notes. And this is how it sounds like. By playing the semitones, it just gives you like the scary vibe that I want to put it inside of here. And this is how the complete first part of the melody sounds together. After I laid the melody down, I started with very simple drums, because if you listen to the Vultures too closely, you will notice there are not a lot of drums going on. So here we have just a 808, a hi-hat and a snare, and this is how they sound all together. So this is the complete first part with drums and the melody. For the second part, like I told you before, I used the same synth as in the first part, but just pulled up the attack, and this is how it sounds like. So this is why it sounds much more delayed. We're using the same harp as in the first part. The second part, this is the bass that we're playing. So to layer that bass, I just added some deep shallow vocals, so it's like more orchestral, some dark strings, and this is how it sounds like. I also got rid of the high end with the strings, so it sounds very dark. So it plays the same chord as the bass. Then to add more into it, I used this chord. And last, I used this preset inside of Alchemy, Chorus Dirt, just to give that dirty kind of sound into this beat and layer down these chords, and this is how it sounds like. Also removed the high end here, so As the last part of this beat, I used the splice drum sample just to use that as a complementary drop before the first part comes in again, and this is how it sounds like. And this is the complete beat. So you can basically clearly hear the inspiration out of the field trip beat that was made, and it has very similar sounds. And now let's get into the second beat. That's, for me, it was much easier to make. I didn't use the same core because I didn't want to record myself doing that. I just pulled up a sample that's quite similar, and let's get into it. It's much easier beat, and it will be a fast breakdown. So let's get into the second beat that's inspired by Fried, and let's see what I did here. I started with this sample, and let's listen to it. This is the first sample I found, and I wanted to have like more dark sound into it, and that's why I duplicated the sample and pulled it down by -12 semitones, so 1 octave, and pushed it to the left, so you can hear like the dark sounding core voices from the left, a little bit more to the left, and this is how it sounds. For the last part of this melody, I did the same here, but I pushed it up 1 octave, so we have the high, the mid, and the low end all in this melody. So let's listen to it. All of this together sounds like this. For the drums, I kept it quite simple. This is just a simple 2-step hi-hat pattern, and let's listen to it. This is the 808 pattern. And just a simple clap on the 2. This is how the drum sound all together. The only kind of processing I did here was on the 808. I added distortion and a little bit of EQ here just to get rid of a little bit of the super low end that you either way can't hear. So that's it. So let's listen to the complete beat. So hopefully you enjoyed this video of me breaking down 2 beats I made in the style of Kanye West, Vultures 2, and I hope you were able to learn something new. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.